What they do, what it is, this is your boy Orion, aka Brass Balls. I'm bringing you a brand new segment from my YouTube channel, Orion Hip Hop, and this one is called Deep Dive Top 5. Every episode's gonna be a little different, not necessarily just gonna be about music, but different memorabilia I may have, comic books or whatnot, just my top 5 for certain reasons. On this episode, this first one that I'm gonna do for y'all, this is my personal favorite tapes, my 5 personal favorite tapes in my collection. So I just wanted to highlight these and give reasons as to why they're my personal favorites. So at number 5, Paris, Sleeping with the Enemy. I remember copping this tape at Sam Goody's, Main Street, Miami Lakes, way back in the day. I was in high school, and the tape section that they had mad tapes on clearance. That's around the same time I bought Akinelli's Vagina Dinner, with a slew of other tapes that I took chances on in some tapes. I remember buying DRS, Gangsta Lean. I kind of knew it wasn't going to be what I thought it was, but I just bought it because I was a huge J. Rue the Damager fan, and he had the Dirty Rotten Scandals, just in case it was that tape. But this Paris, Sleeping with the Enemy, what drew me to it was the fact that Devil Made Me Do It was a song that was really dope, and it was on a mixtape that I had acquired from a homie. Not even a legit mixtape, just a tape that had a bunch of tracks recorded on it type vibe. And I always thought that track was dope. So when I saw this Paris, Sleeping with the Enemy tape, available at Sam Goody in the clearance section, I decided to cop it. And I'm glad I did, because my favorite song from Paris is on this album, and that track is The Days of Old. It's actually partially accredited to DJ Shadow. I think he gave the sample, may have chopped it up. I don't know exactly what was his level of involvement with it, but I think that was dope in itself. The track is amazing. I think it's Paris's magnum opus of a song in his whole catalog. This album is dope as well, though. It's got Coffee, Donuts, and Death is one of the standout tracks, and his Bush Killer is really dope. The album definitely has a sonic feel to it of Bomb Squad, Public Enemy, especially with the content that Paris delivers. He's a very socially conscious MC and attacking a lot of political viewpoints on this album. Other tracks that I really like on this album is Think About It, Funky Little Party, and House Niggas. I think those 2 tracks is fire as well. The album is well worth a listen. Go take a listen to it. As far as like value wise on Discogs, this album really doesn't go for much. $11 to $20 is the average price you can find this tape for. So this isn't so much an album that I'm putting in the top 5 because of its value. I'm putting it more because of what it means to me. At number 4 is the legendary classic Dr. Dre's The Chronic. Now, I got this on CD. I think I have 3 different CDs of this because the album was so well sought after. The album, as everyone would know, will be on platinum. So whenever you got an album that sells that much, you're more than likely gonna find this at thrift stores. I mean, I got this album, like I said, three different CDs of it. I got it on vinyl. I got singles upon singles from this album. So when I found it at a thrift store, it wasn't a surprise, because anytime you have an album that sells that much, you're more than likely to run into it at a thrift store. I'm glad I have it. This really changed hip-hop on so many levels. And actually, out of all the tapes that I'm showing you, it's probably the one that retains the most value. And it goes for anywhere from $100 to $500. This is a first pressing that I have, so this is a personal favorite, not just because of the value, obviously, but because of what the music on this really is and what it did to the rap game. At number 3, this is Big Noyd, Episodes of a Hustler. Now, I'm a little conflicted with this one because I love the fact that I have this album on tape cassette. And I think this album is mad slept on. However, I got this album because a homie of mine, he went by the name Psycho. We played on the same basketball team at Mylander Park. And around that time, I had a Mazda 323 1988, which had a tape deck. I was always bumping tapes, such as the one that I mentioned previously, the Paris and Akinelli, a bunch of tapes that I had. But this tape specifically, it happened because I had a DJ EFN Volume 14 mixtape that I loved. Psycho was in my car after practice. We were talking about tapes. He told me he had the big Noyd. I agreed to let him hold my DJ EFN so long as he could let me hold the big Noyd. We did that, but unfortunately, we lost touch and I never got my EFN tape back. Then again, I didn't give him the big Noyd tape either back. So, you know, if you out there, Psycho, hit me up, man. I want my tape back, man. I want that EFN tape back. But I don't know if I'm willing to give up this big Noyd, because this big Noyd album to me is the continuation of what Mobb Deep was doing with their second album, The Infamous. And then on their third album, Hell on Earth, there's a big departure in sound, although still somewhat related to what they were doing on The Infamous. You got glimpses of this transition on the Big Noyd album. Every song on this album is a banger, but I feel that this album doesn't get its just due because it really only had 8 tracks. It feels more like an EP than a whole album, and I kind of feel like if they would have at least put 2 or maybe 3 more tracks on this would have been a full-length album. And if those other 2 tracks or 3 tracks would have sounded anything like the rest of the songs that are on this would have been a classic in a lot of people's eyes. Unfortunately, a lot of people overlooked this album. One other thing that I didn't like about this album is you got a banging ass intro that I think he should have rapped on, but it's still a dope ass intro. But then right after the intro, you got a 2-minute long interlude, and that's always been weird to me. Why would you follow up an intro with an interlude? You regularly don't see that in any hip hop albums. But I will say, if you're a real Mobb Deep fan and you have not heard Big Noyd's Episodes of a Hustler, do yourself a favor, go listen to it, because it is a continuation to me of The Infamous leading into Hell on Earth. It's well worth it. You get P verses on here. You got Havoc production the whole way, so it's really fucking fire. And you can even hear Big Noyd shouting out the engineer, Mario, who is the only engineer that worked with Mobb Deep on the Hell on Earth project. So it makes perfect sense why these 2 projects to me are very cohesive in sound. Yeah, shout out to Big Noyd. He's an incredible MC. I saw Big Noyd and Havoc rip it at Revolution Live, and I think they're going to be coming down to Miami very soon. Big Noyd, it was stand-up dude, got to meet him and everything, and what he did on that stage made me even more of a fan. Coming in at number 2, Nirvana, Nevermind. This is one of the best rock albums. It's a quintessential rock album. Has to be the best grunge album. 100%. There's no grunge album better than Nirvana's Nevermind, in my humble opinion. I copped this from BMG. I was in 5th grade or 5th or 4th grade, and I would play this shit out. Every song on this album bangs. The album itself did amazing, as everybody knows, and it had 4 singles: In Bloom, Lithium, Come As You Are, and Teen Spirit, of course. Come As You Are is my favorite Nirvana song, and this is a tape that not only is it dope for all the reasons I just mentioned, and it holds nostalgic value for me because I was a young jitterbug coming up, and this album was something that I played every day, and I was a huge rock fan at that time. But this album also retains value. Alright, so here we are. Number 1, my most prized tape in all of my collection. And this one, it's not only because it retains a lot of value, but because of what it means to me. This is Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Linx, the purple tape. I'ma just say this. I didn't have the purple tape growing up. I had Only Built for Cuban Linx on CD. One of my favorite CDs ever. One of my favorite albums, period. In any genre of music, this one right here is an all-time classic. As a Woo head, I bumped this shit through and through. I remember having the CD, I copped it off of BMG. But this tape, however, I copped this tape in 2002 at a thrift store, a Salvation Army located on West Dixie Highway. One of the best digs of my life to come across this. It is the actual purple tape, serial number and all that. The value is anywhere from $400 to $300. Really depends on, you know, the condition. I had this in really pristine condition. I'm proud to have this joint. And like I said, this is nostalgia mixed with actual value on this tape. Alright, so that wraps it up. Deep Dive Top 5. These are the 5 tapes in my vastness of collection of music that are my most prized in my collection. Shout out to everybody watching. Subscribe, repost, like, all of that. I truly appreciate y'all. More deep dive top 5 episodes will be coming. And like I said, it's a little bit of everything. Could be music one day, comic books another day, books, memorabilia, whatever have you not. Inside of the man cave, I got a lot of treasures, and I'm willing to share that with y'all. Peace.